Listen, I understand if your friend is getting engaged and you were not told about it, you kind of feel like blindsided. You're like, how wouldn't this person tell me? But the way that Danielle has been acting, she has not seemed like she wants to be involved in an engagement, you know? Like, she's been very sour about it. So it's like, who wants to include somebody who's being so sour and negative about such a huge life moment? Like, you know what I mean? And I just feel like it was just the wrong place and the wrong time to be like just blabbing her mouth to everybody about how she didn't know. Okay, you didn't know. Be happy for her in the moment, and then maybe later on you could deal with that. But it was just so inappropriate the way it was handled. It's like, you're going to take away. You keep saying this person's your best friend, but you're also not being very supportive.
No, I agree. I definitely think when she did get to the actual engagement party and was talking to Lindsay's friends and was like, when did you find out? I didn't know till just now. Like, that stuff, she needed to hold that in and just like sit there and, you know, put on a happy face and just get through it. And they kind of showed that, like, Lindsay's friend, Danielle or whoever it was like saying to her, like, this is the biggest day of Lindsay's life. Like, just kept repeating that. Super fair. But on the other side, I feel bad for Danielle. Like, I feel sad because Danielle, especially on the show, I feel like has always been fairly buttoned up. Like, the earlier seasons, you know, you didn't see too much from Danielle. She was always like Lindsay's friend, and there, you know, that was kind of her role. It was like Lindsay's friend. And now she has shown herself more on the show, and to see her break down and really cry about her not knowing about the engagement made me really sad, because I think it's not like the engagement is a big thing that's happening, but I think it was like a culmination of her being so upset that she's not a part of this moment in Lindsay's life. Like, I think she is upset that they were fighting about it. Yes, I don't think she has issues with Carl and Lindsay being together. I think selfishly she's just like, I don't fit in with them anymore, and that makes her sad. So I think like her way of explaining it to Lindsay has not, like, they just can't seem to understand where each other's coming from. And both of them are making good points. Like, Lindsay's making a good point. Like, I want my friend to support me. I know this is my guy. Like, I want my friend to understand that and support me. And she's like, I want my friend to understand that I'm a friend and I'm going to tell her how I really feel. And like, they just can't see eye to eye on this. But seeing her so upset about not knowing did make me upset, because I felt like that was a very genuine, like, sadness that she was not a part of this massive moment for her friend.
But I feel like she would be a part of this massive moment if she wasn't so bitter the entire time. Like,
I don't think it's bitter. Like, I think
the way that, like, Carl, when he was explaining that he was shopping for rings, like Danielle, like, screaming into a pillow, it's like, that doesn't show that you're happy for your friend. Yes, you can have concerns and everything, and of course that's a good friend. But at the end of the day, if your friend keeps saying, no, I'm good, like, you kind of just have to trust that. It seems like a projection when you are just so angry. Like, it's not your life. Yes, of course you want to look out for your friends, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to let that go and go, hey, it's not my life. I'm happy for my friend. Let my friend do her thing. Because Danielle's reactions have been pretty bizarre. Like, the screaming into the pillow when Carl's shopping for engagement ring. It's like, that's not a happy friend to me. That's like an angry friend. Like, you should be like, oh my God, let me see. Like, I'm so, you know what I mean?
But she's just, I think that, I mean, yeah, it's an authentic reaction. I think she genuinely thinks that they moved very fast into getting engaged, which you can agree, not agree on that. Everybody's relationship is different. Her relationship is different. You know, and while we're watching, she's still in a relationship, but we know her and Robert have broken up since then. So, like, who knows what they were going through. But yes, there's definitely a lot of projection going on, for sure. Like, I definitely feel like some things that she's dealing with in her own relationship, maybe it's hard for her to see her friend getting, her two best friends, like, get engaged so fast. Everybody has like a different feeling. This is the thing. She can be so happy for them and still be and still voice that she thinks they're moving fast.
Right, but at the same time, it's kind of like with Love is Blind, when Micah's friends were like, there's a line between being like the friend that looks out for the other friend and then just being the friend that gets in the way of the other friend being happy. Like, you can voice your concern and then after a while, just let it go. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's gone on for like a while. Well, we're seeing the show. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was inappropriate the way that she acted at the after engagement. It's like,
no, that was inappropriate
the whole night while just getting like, listen, you weren't involved. There's clearly reasons you weren't involved, whether they're right or wrong. You know, just from what we've seen, I would be like, you know, I'd want all my friends to know when I'm getting engaged. But at the end of the day, maybe Lindsay and Carl felt like, and also she kept being like, Lindsay didn't tell me. People could say Lindsay knew she was getting engaged all you want. You're not telling your friends I'm getting engaged though. Yeah, but it's on the guy though to be like,
yeah, but you're telling me you don't have a feeling you're getting engaged and you don't go to your best friend and say, I think it's happening?
But they weren't in that place, clearly. Danielle and Lindsay clearly weren't in that place.
I know, but I think that's also where the sadness comes from.
Not that I think it's happening. Clearly, Danielle knew that they were going to get, because the rings and everything. And you could say, I think it might be happening. But like the day of being like, I'm getting engaged, I'm giving you a heads up. Like, if you give someone a heads up before it happens, what if it doesn't happen? You know what I mean? Like, I think it would have been nice for Carl to let Danielle know, hey, I'm doing this, right? But like I said, maybe Lindsay and Carl just felt like Danielle wasn't being supportive. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I just think the way that their friendship has, clearly they're not in the same place and there's a lot of reasons for that. And, you know, I've always questioned, you know, Lindsay a little bit sometimes on the show. But in this situation, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like at some point I'd just shut my mouth and be like, you know what? If my friend's happy, my friend's happy. You just gotta, it's not your life. It's not your engagement.
No, I think I don't know. I think Danielle really voiced her concerns. I think Lindsay really didn't like what Danielle said. And I think Lindsay kind of pushed her away because of it. And so every time they do talk, Lindsay can't get over the fact that she said what she said. And Danielle like doesn't really have a chance to explain herself and for them to like move forward, because I feel like Lindsay's really stuck on like Danielle's initial reaction and they haven't had any chance to move past it. Like Robert and Carl had a conversation at the end of the episode and Robert was like trying to explain where Danielle was coming from. I felt like he did a pretty good job. It was like, because Carl was like, I didn't tell any of the girls in the house. And he's like, yeah, but you have to understand, like, Danielle's never thought of herself as just one of the girls in the house. Like, Danielle and Lindsay are real life best friends. Like, she doesn't want to just be lumped in. Because I think that embarrassed her. Like, I think that came from him. Like, when Kyle announced to the whole group, like, hey, guys, the engagement's happening right now. We're not going to the beach. We're actually all going to the bar to have this party. I think she kind of was like, oh my God, I'm finding this out. Like, I'm every other person that's sitting here. Like, so I think I think there was like some embarrassment that came into play that it was all happening and she didn't know. But yeah, 100% couldn't agree more. Like, in the moment of the engagement party, zip it and don't like go up to everyone, because that's obviously going to go back to Lindsay. And it's just going to cause even more problems. Yeah, like now Lindsay's going to be like, even more mad.
You were just complaining the whole time at my engagement party. Yeah. And then say, hey, this is why we didn't tell you, because this is how you act about these things.
I know. I feel bad for Danielle because now, right, like she's not in a relationship. And I do think that she really like valued Carl and Lindsay's friendship as a group, all the three of them together, but also like individually. And clearly you can tell Carl and Lindsay are like obsessed with each other. They want to hang out all the time. They live together. Like they have their life together. And I think she's just like, it's taken her some time to get used to like not being in the picture. Like she's just not going to be involved in everything anymore. And she's clearly having a hard time adjusting to that.